Josh Lambert heads east to drop his son, Dalton, off at school. However, Dalton's college dream soon becomes a living nightmare when the repressed demons of his past suddenly return to haunt them both. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Directed by
Yes, sir.
the Patrick Wilson, himself.
The directorial debut. First time directing, man. Killed it. Killed it. Incredible.
Really killed it.
I'll just talk about it now. This dude knows how to direct a movie. It had that James Wan feel to it, that Insidious feel to it. Didn't lose it. Felt very, very good and smooth.
You know, there's certain people who can do good when they direct, Mr. B. Jordan, and then there's some people who just don't hit the office. Some fools. I won't speak on it too much, but this film's a quality film.
Sexy.
Man knows how to
really
direct.
Well directed,
and the fact that he was like one of the leads in it, quality.
Being an actor and directing a movie at the same time is crazy.
Crazy.
Personally, I need someone in my ear kind of yelling at me. You know what I mean? Telling me what I need to do. You know what I mean? What I need to fix. You know what I mean? When you're that guy and we kind of had experience with that. With the dark room. It doesn't, it feels weird. I like having someone that knows that, I feel like almost knows the script more than me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Almost, and pushes me in a direction I didn't really see. I like seeing different perspectives, I guess, is what I'm saying. So,
yes. Because we're so focused on doing one thing.
Right. So having kind of an outsider, mind is really nice. But he killed it in this movie, man. He was definitely one of the bright spots in this. But yeah, this movie's really about, so Insidious 2, since 3 and 4 prequels, we can throw those out the window. And Insidious 2,
they're really not relevant
at all. There's nothing in it except for the lady makes a small appearance in this movie, just because she's a part of the franchise and everybody loves her, so they had to do it. They felt obligated. It wasn't the best cameo either.
Yeah.
But anyway, so at the end of Insidious 2, Patrick Wilson's character and Ty Simpkins' character, the dad and the son get their memories revoked. For some reason, the mom they don't mess with the mom. They don't mess with it doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's just because they didn't ever actually go to the further and see what was in there and you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then it leads to the problems we get to in this movie. And it confuses me so much.
She's a problem. I'm not going to lie. We'll hop into that. Let's hop into that. Yeah. We're flowing, baby.
Yeah, let's dive into what that's, yeah. So like I said, it's basically them kind of going, there's a big gap in their life that's gone, and they feel this fogginess. And
it's been 9-10 years.
Yeah, and Brayden can kind of go off and explain a little bit more here, but basically the wife divorced Patrick Wilson's character.
And so it's interesting because she said at the end, she was like, she just didn't know how to tell him. And they kept asking her about Patrick Wilson attacking them when they were kids, and she couldn't bear it anymore, so she had to divorce him. And it's like, what did that fix? They still see their dad every weekend. You just don't have to deal with it. You sound very selfish, especially knowing that they are brainwashed. They don't know anything that happened. Maybe they could all be in freaking therapy, or maybe they could all be working through it, trying to, I don't know. There are so many other things that could have happened. But the fact that the mother is really the only person that remembers anything, because they throw that old guy from the guy that actually took their memory away right at the beginning, and he never shows up again. Never again.
Nope. Don't get that. Makes no sense.
Total L. Yep. That was stupid. But at least you could have, maybe, I don't know, anything with her didn't make sense until the very end. You know what I mean? She just kind of it almost is like, damn, you're kind of heartless, bro.
It's terrible. Terrible. We're quoting a lot of Morgan Wallen songs tonight, but yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like you said, she's talking crap on Patrick Wilson's character when she knows the whole reason behind this divorce and the problems. That the main storyline of this movie is Patrick Wilson's relationship with his son Ty Simpkins, and the main reason is because of what happened. Their memory got erased, so you're gonna let this guy suffer his entire life. You only live one life.
He's literally going to get a freaking MRI, going to see a therapist, almost to the point, because
you
he's
can
worried.
help this and you can stop this, but you choose not to because you're scared. Well, this
I
guy's
don't.
going through too much anyway. He's already going through enough torture. So what are you going to be doing? How much more torture, like, are you
It
going to really
almost
give
just
this
didn't
guy?
make sense, homie.
It
It
doesn't make
just
sense at all. It's ridiculous, bro. And like, I wouldn't have a problem with it if maybe she
and at
like
the end
said something at the beginning, but
she's like, maybe you can come early for some dinner. At the end, I'm like, nah, nah, you're for the streets.
that's what I'm saying. I like, and he
I don't want to have
forgives
dinner
her.
with you now.
Yeah, and he was mad at her. You know, he was confused when the whole discovery thing happened, but like he just kind of forgave her really quick. And I'm like,
Right
this.
in the, but no, it was because the moment he came in, they like Ty Simpson's character sent the picture, and like, bro, they like he just like for neglected the whole thing. And then he was like, all right, sit down. And he sat down and went into the thing to go find him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It
That's
was
what's
just,
right. There's no reaction.
there's
Yes,
not a single, like, there's like, he gets to react, he
yes.
stands up, and then somebody barges in. He's like completely taken away from it. Nah.
This is a pretty
Nah.
pivotal moment for the
I'd
past
be
10
like,
years.
son, stop.
Right.
You.
The past 10 years you've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
And
Bull.
doesn't make any sense to me, dude. It makes zero sense to me. When you have this thing that's literally changed your life, and you know that something has changed your life, and you finally figure out what it is, and it's changed your life for the worst, you're gonna sit on that for a minute, at least 10 minutes, but then you just dive right in. Just yeah, dude. That was something that really, really bothered me in this movie, and probably my biggest con is it just makes zero sense. Zero sense. Humans would not make these decisions. I'm sorry. Crazy.
Yeah. A lot of the time, like, I really like the dynamic between Patrick Wilson and his son, but the siblings, even, like, I made the joke with you. I was like, they didn't want to pay the daughter, like they had the other son, like, just have some two random cameos just because, and they had the daughter at the beginning because they had to have her, and then she never shows up again.
She's at a friend's house. Great excuse. Do you imagine? I told you this in theater. I was like, imagine you go to your friend's house and miss this huge moment with your family. I would be so pissed. I'd be so pissed. You come back, you're like, what? Dad's back? He's okay, cool.
What happened?
You know, what happened now? Then you guys hate each other?
Tried to kill me?
Yeah, that's why. It's crazy. I don't know. Right. I don't know. I don't know. It makes no sense, but whatever.
Yeah, and you know, that's probably my biggest thing too. Is I've been sitting on something that Logan actually said, and it was like, was this a film that was needed? And I was like, you know, realistically, no, it really wasn't. I enjoyed it. I won't lie. I really enjoyed this film. And that's because I love this series, and it was just nice to revisit it and see everybody again. And but that's all it is. It's not a knock you out of the park movie. Like, I will comment on the fact that I love, like how we said in the beginning, the directing was phenomenal. I think some of the shots were awesome. I actually really liked how they implemented the ghost. I thought it was they always do a good job of not throwing him in enough, but not like too little. You know what I mean?
Oh,
We
the
get to see
lipstick
him.
demon or whatever.
Yeah.
He looks a little different in this movie, though. He kind of had like a, I don't
He
know.
did a little bit.
Yeah.
He almost looked like, I don't want to say hairier, but like mangier. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
There was some hair there.
yeah, there's more.
Yeah.
More this time.
A little bit. He looked like, yeah, I don't know, man. He had that like Jack Nicholson hairline going. It was very strange.
Yeah. And I really like the moments between Patrick Wilson and his son. Like, those were pretty cool.
Those are good moments. Yeah. No, I'm with you. It's just like I think I'm with you. We didn't really need this movie, and it didn't really add anything to the franchise. And I feel like as well, this is something that's heavily a con for me as well, and this kind of goes with it, is the whole movie is about the relationship, the father and son thing, and them trying to figure out what this void is in their life, which is, like I said, it's cool because their dynamic is incredible. The acting is incredible.
Yeah.
But you spend the whole movie following these characters, exploring something that we already know. Now, and I told you this in the car ride home, this works with movies that you're like that have a very, very well written. I'm not saying this isn't a well written movie. I'm just saying like one of the best storylines, super engaging.
Well, because
you know
what came to mind
film.
for me, it's weird because I compare this to something very much like The Boogeyman. But where I think it's different is it's like, you made the good point. We already know what they were exploring. With The Boogeyman, we didn't know what we were exploring. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what kept like everyone engaged.
Right.
And I also think they almost did a little bit better job of like playing towards the horror. I feel like this is almost like Conjuring 3 in the sense of where it was more of like a drama, where like they focused a lot on the court side and the ghost side. You know what I mean? And I think with this movie, it just almost feels like we are sometimes more focused on their relationship and that like that needing to be fixed than the actual like further itself. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're more focused on what happened than actually like we already know what happened. We want more details of what's in there. They're just rediscovering what's going on again. You know what I mean? It's just not
Especially
like
right, especially when the name is the movie is The Red Door. You're like,
yeah.
oh, I'm intrigued now. What's going on with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really get to it until literally the final act, and
Yeah.
it's like
Because
it's cool, but
and
it.
it's something a little frustrating too because I don't mean to cut you off. It's a lot like the ending of the first one when they're running out. You know what I mean? Or it's either the first or second one. I
Yeah,
can't think. I'm pretty sure it's the first
I
one
think it's the first one.
where they end up running out of the thing, and you know what I mean? Like they had that same thing where they see him up top and they're like, "Oh
Yeah,
my god, he's looking at us."
that's
That
the
like
first one, I
was
think.
it was literally yeah, that's what I thought. It's literally the same thing. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
not in a bad way because it's cool and the stuff like in one way, it's like that was dope for me. Like I loved it because it was like, oh yeah,
it's a
man, that was
callback.
like callback. But then at the same time, it's a little unoriginal. You know what I mean? So it's a double edged sword, and
Yeah.
I feel like they do that a lot with the film.
Mm-hmm.
So depends on how deep you look into it.
Right. It's just
Yeah,
like that was my biggest problem. Is like I felt unengaged, especially in the middle, like the second act, like really the middle of the film for me. Just felt like it kind of dragged on a little bit. The stuff going on with Ty Simpkins' character and like I don't know. It just excuse me. For me, it was just like, okay, guys, we're going through the motions of and exploring something we already know. At least add like a new villain in there, a new scary character, which we really didn't see. You know what I mean? There wasn't really like a main focus on like a main scary character really,
right.
except for
And
that
now,
one guy's friend, the one kid in the dorm. But other than that, you
yes,
know what I mean? There's not like a main like guy.
and that's what I was telling, or that's what I was just saying right there. Like with the demon, he's a cool character, but like he does just seems like he's just around. Like it doesn't seem like we need to be scared of him, or like of course scared of him, but it's not like he's like protecting a domain or something, or like like it where Pennywise has like an objective. Like this guy is just here, and he happens to just be in the further, and you can just see him. Like if you couldn't see the further, he would not be fucking with you.
Especially when he's like they call him like the conqueror of the further and being like the king, and it's like then you don't really see him or you see him
They had
weak in
that
this
one
movie. He's
chase
almost
scene at the
weak.
end. Yeah, yeah, he's like a fat lazy
Yeah,
version.
so I'm saying, man, bro, I have to lay off the beers a little bit, and I feel like maybe he was, maybe that's what they want to do for the fifth movie or start at sixth movie, because listen, man, they made a crap ton of money on this movie. We'll talk about that, the box office stuff. They made back their money already, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, they already made their money back in one weekend, so they're doing okay. They're gonna make another one for sure, and maybe that's where they're gonna go with it more. But it's like I don't know. Like I said,
They're
when
definitely going to go back with Pat, and like I think they're going to continue
yes,
on that story.
yes, I think so as well. But like I said, when you explore something that the audience already knows, you have to have some kind of chum in there. I used it.
Yeah.
It came back
The
again. Let's
chum,
go.
baby.
You have to have something in there that grabs the audience's attention and keeps them engaged. This movie just did not have that. There wasn't that main villain that we were grabbing onto, and I feel like that's not always needed. We don't always need that kind of main villain because it can get repetitive. Obviously, it's like a TV show when they just bring in new villains each season, like Peaky Blinders or something. But we do need something to kind of engage us a little bit more when you are making the movie about something we already know. So that's kind of my biggest problem with it is it does drag on a little bit because of that. But
You know what's really funny? I don't know how much you're going to get. This is a Star Wars reference. And a lot of people who've seen Star Wars and watched this movie are going to understand what I'm saying. This movie is like The Force Awakens. This movie is like The Force Awakens, a lot of people just say is a copy of like A New Hope. Was like the first The New Hope.
yeah,
And just the same story with Luke and this guy like finding like the master instead of Obi-Wan is Luke this time as the old master, and then trying to learn how to fight the forces of evil, and then Han Solo makes a cameo. It's just like it basically like a lot of people compare it as like a ripoff. It was a ripoff of like the old franchise. You know what I mean? And that's what this movie is. And you can look at that how you want it. It's not in a good way nor a bad way. It's just it almost just seems like a copy of the first one. Like they really redid what exactly happened in the first movie. Like they retrace their steps, and it's a cool nostalgia thing. But for like furthering a story, it didn't really, it
no,
didn't really further the story. And like You know what I mean? Nothing to take away from it. Like we said, the
Right.
directing was great. I love that the score is always cool. I like the transition from that one song. I didn't think they were gonna play Tiptoe after I said it, and they played that one
They
song, and
did.
then it transitioned to Tiptoe. I
The
was like,
tiptoe.
yes,
Yeah, you like just randomly said that. I laughed at it, and then it actually happened. I was like, oh, okay, that works.
yeah. And you know what I mean? And the acting was awesome. I loved the doctor scene. That was actually really one of my favorite scenes, where you like saw his like eyes in the night vision almost. Patrick Wilson, you know what I mean? Like when he was stuck in that tube and like they
Oh
caught
yeah,
like a
yeah,
shot
yeah.
from his feet and like you could see his eyes. They were definitely using like a night vision camera because his eyes were like teal white. You know what I mean? Like how it looks in the
It was
night
cool.
vision.
It was
It
cool.
was super cool. I like that scene.
Well, and shots
Makes you
like
feel
that throughout.
claustrophobic.
Yeah, yeah. There's like I like the scares that Patrick Wilson did. Like these aren't just
Mm-hmm.
typical jump scares. You know what I mean? Like it actually is a suspense building up, and sometimes it leads to nothing, which I love. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
I'm a big fan
and
of
it
that. You
made
don't
you
always
think.
have to make right. So then when it builds up again, you're like, okay, there might not be something, but then they actually throw something at you. Like stuff like that's
Yes.
cool. So I like that. I like that Patrick Wilson has that vibe because that's what James Wan does a lot as well. But he almost made it even more suspenseful, which I really enjoyed. So I'm that kind of guy, and I thought there's so many good instances of that, even at the school when it's just a basic scene of the kid, Ty Simpkins' character painting and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of suspense and there's something looming over almost this entire movie there's like a vibe, that tone's really interesting.
What do you think about his sidekick,
What do
the
you mean?
Chris,
Hmm?
the girl Chris, the one he think
Oh
his
yeah,
roommate?
yeah, yeah. Was that Blow on My Hooters or whatever? Uh,
Yes. Dude, that was hilarious.
such a good
That was
line, bro.
hilarious.
How, dude, we were dying. We were like, did they just say that? Is that actually a
Yeah,
thing?
dude. She has a line where she basically looks at him. She's like, "You want to blow in my hooters?" And we
Yeah, I
were
was
like,
like,
"What the?"
what are we watching, bro? Yeah, no, I like. What do you like? What do you mean about her?
Did you like her character? Did you think
Yeah,
it was good for the
when he said
story and stuff?
sidekick, I thought of like the sidekicks that like read minds and stuff. I was like, what do you mean?
Oh,
That's
like a
so weird.
sidekick.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, at least it's sidekick. But yeah, no, as like a sidekick. Yeah, I thought she was cool. A lot of people were saying that she kind of overdid her character, and her character's almost too much. And that's how I feel sometimes. Like I hate like high energy people in movies and stuff because they usually overdo it. But I actually thought she was pretty well done in this movie. I thought she wasn't too annoying, and
I've
I
seen
didn't love
people
her
like that
though.
in real life. I've
Yeah,
seen people like that in real
yeah,
life. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So I thought it was very realistic, to be honest.
yeah. I
I
didn't
thought
love her, but I didn't hate her.
the part that I didn't like her was like, bro, and this is like what leads on to my last probably big point of the whole topic. I didn't like her writing. I just didn't like how she then turned like after she almost died, she flipped out on him. Like she's not the one who came to him about being a traveler, and you know what I
So
mean? Like you're
weird.
the one who's starting it,
It,
dude.
it almost felt like the I don't know who wrote this. I don't know if it was Patrick Wilson or I think it might have been him and someone else. But it felt like they just needed to throw like another kind of little subplot at Ty Simpkins' character. You know what I mean? Of
Yeah,
like, hey, we need to cause some conflict here. We need to have some kind of result of this interaction. This is going to be the result of that. And like
yeah.
you said, just felt very thrown in there and felt very, very I don't know. Like some people, that happens sometimes. People get very emotional, of course, in situations like that. But realistically, nobody would go after the person that was trying to help them
Yeah,
when
that's
you
bullshit.
voluntarily did it.
Yep.
I don't know.
And
And you know the risks.
that kind of just goes back to like what I was saying. Like my last little point here is pretty much like I very much like this movie. I think it's a very good movie overall, but I think what it suffers from is kind of like a not so good script. I think the writing wasn't amazingly well done. And I think like a lot of movies have suffered from that this year. I think it's just like knowing like where it
Not the
could have
dark room.
went and not the dark room, dude. You guys are gonna be my mind. No, it just hurts a little bit because like you have so much expectation and you know they have like I mean this movie didn't have a huge budget, but there's just you can see things in the writing where it could have been a lot better. Like there's a lot of lines we thought were awesome, like the blow my hooters, but then there's a lot of cheese. Hey, tell me, little brother.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my
Oh, and
god,
and and
dude.
that's not Ty
If you're a
Simpkins' fault.
film connoisseur, it's not his fault at all. They probably literally told him you have to say little brother. Like dude,
Yeah.
it is such a terrible line. If you're a film connoisseur, you'll see it. It seems so like he literally looked uncomfortable saying it.
I cannot. I've never called my little brother in my life.
Tell me, little brother. Like
Like, yo, I'll be like, yo, tell me.
Yeah,
Not little brother. It's weird. But
or tell me, bro. Like I wouldn't
tell me,
even
yeah,
say tell me, brother. Like
yeah,
what,
brother, I'm brother. Yeah.
brother?
But no, man, I'm with you. Yeah, I think I don't think the writing was necessarily bad. I just think it's it's just a modern horror movie written script, and I feel like they just could have done a little bit more with it. I feel like this is a very safe movie. We talked about that as well. Remember, you brought actually you said that it was a very safe movie, and I agree. This was a very safe movie. They know it would do well. It'd make people happy. It wasn't going to blow people's expectations out of the water, but it wasn't going to really piss too many people off. It was going to be just that, hey, it's a good movie. It's a good Insidious movie. It's a pretty good horror movie. Yeah, and for a low budget, it did great. I had a good time with it.
I did too.
All right, so we're gonna do our rating here. Our final thoughts and do our rating. I do. What do I do first?
I think I went first last time.
Okay, we're gonna have very different rankings here for sure. I think I'm gonna be a little lower than you. I'm gonna go a solid. I'll go like a 7.7. I think it's a pretty solid film. I think there's a lot of good moments in it. I really like the suspense. It's just like throughout, like we said, just like there. I feel like I'm just like watching a recap or something for an hour, and you know what I mean. Like that's kind of my problem is the middle part of this movie. The ending's pretty cool. We didn't really talk about that too much. I really like how it goes into the further and stuff. I really like that aspect.
Yeah, I only talked about that one scene.
Yeah.
Where they we're running away. I didn't really mention.
Yeah, and I like how he's like sitting against the door and Ty Simpkins' character is painting it, and then you see the paint.
That was dope because I was like,
cool.
Damn, they're really gonna kill him off right here, and that was like awesome. That was creative and different. I
liked it. It was cool. I really really enjoyed that sequence.
And even the cameo, moments. Like it was a little cheesy. It could have been better, but they almost like. That was the setup for the next movie. That's how you know another film's coming because of the line she said, just how she acted. Mm-hmm. It's so obvious now. So
there's gonna be definitely another one. But yeah, I'm gonna go 7.7 for me.
I'm gonna hit it with an 8.0.
It's a good one.
Solid 8.0 on the dot.
8.0 on the dot. I don't think we've ever done that.
E on the dot. I don't think I have.
I don't know. That's a good pick. I was gonna go 7.8 for a minute, but I went down to 7.7.
Well, for me,
I feel like I need to rewatch it again for sure.
I think this is a dope horror movie, man. I think, like you said, it feels very much like a recap. It's nothing that blows your mind, but like I think it's one of the most enjoyable horror movies I've seen of the year so far.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, I feel.
I don't know, man. That new horror Grinch movie is incredible, bro.
Oh yeah, bro.
So
Dude,
good,
no,
man.
I'm telling you, Talk to Me, bro, is gonna freaking blow our minds. I'm hoping.
Hope so.
My expectations are too high, Logan. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, it's the number one ranked horror movie on Rotten Tomatoes of the year so far.
It's second behind Mission Impossible, right?
Did I say I meant horror movies? Out of horror movies on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. No, you said that. You said that. I'm saying, but I think it's also like number 2 out of all movies for this year. I think it's like second, right? Because Mission Impossible is like 99%.
Dude, it hit
and this one's 97.
99.
Yeah, that's. I don't know if it's gonna be a 99. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no. Yeah, I'm excited. I think for Talk to Me, I think my expectations are pretty normal for it. I'm not really expecting anything too crazy. But you love Raka Raka. So Raka Raka. But yeah, no. So there you go. That's gonna be our review and ranking for Insidious. Let's talk about the box office real quick while we're here. Insidious, the budget was $16 million. They said at the most. Not bad at all. All the Insidious movies have had a really low budget, and I like that because it keeps that feel to it, which is dope. So
and that's how they make so much pull on it. That with that money.
That money, baby. Yeah, because domestically they've already made 32.6, and then worldwide $64 million. 64.0. Like it's like on the dot almost. So it's really cool, man. So they with marketing, they definitely, I would say they've already made their money back. If they haven't, they're getting super close. So yeah, they're gonna do well. We're getting another Insidious movie for sure. And Patrick Wilson's about to direct a crap ton more, baby. Let's go, baby.
I bet you they'll have him do the next one. I saw James Wan was a producer on this.
Yeah, producers don't mean anything though. Like
yeah.
That's how it goes, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You know. Usually he probably just signed. It's probably him just signing off on it and saying, "Yeah, it's fine. You're a producer." But yeah, no. So there you go. It's gonna be our review. Y'all give this video a like. Comment down below what you thought of the movie, man. Why wouldn't you? Also, make sure you do give us a ranking of the Insidious movies down below as well. Let us know what you think about it. Where's it go in your ranking?
Third and fourth one. Are we missing out?
Yeah. I don't know. Tell us about third and fourth. And third one looked good. Fourth one.
I don't think anybody watched it, so I don't know if anyone's going to be giving me
That's what I'm saying.
answer on that one.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, make sure you go rank it down below. Subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you guys next time, baby.
In the next one. See you in the hippity hoppity.
Yes, sir.